Hi everyone. Welcome to English 1100 Composition 1. My name is Jacob Hale and I'm going to be your instructor for this course. Every week I am going to make a video very similar to this one in which I talk you through the weekly activities and assignments and things. These videos are not required, but I've had a number of students tell me that the videos help. If you like being able to hear someone explain something, if you benefit by having someone kind of walk you through assignments or activities, then these videos will be right up your alley, and I strongly recommend that you watch them. So you should be able to see my screen here. I'm going to point out something to you. So I don't know exactly what it looks like on your end, but when I get on my Blackboard, you'll see that I have my English 1100 section 17 Blackboard site right here. But above that, you'll see that I have something that looks very similar, but it's labeled 1101. And this is kind of just a weird blank site. Every time that we create, like instructors create Blackboard sites, for some reason they kind of create this weird copy here. So if you're seeing that, you can just ignore this. It should disappear pretty soon. All of our course information can be found under this Blackboard site. So I'm going to go ahead and go there. And then I'm also going to go ahead and go to student view just so my screen looks like what you will be seeing. On the home page here, you'll see some announcements that I sent out. You can read those over. And then once you've read the announcements, make sure that you take a look at the information under this tab, Orientation, Start Here. You'll find a bunch of useful information for the course, lots of explanations of what we're going to be doing, what our class policies are. It is a fair amount of reading. I won't pretend that it isn't. I think if I were a student, I would probably be overwhelmed by how much information is here. So take a look at each of these tabs, determine what you think you need to read over. Some things you may not need, so like technical requirements, if you are pretty sure that you're good there, don't take a look at that. Like library stuff, that might be useful a little bit later on in the course. So some of these things you can skip over for now, but there is a lot of good information here. And if you don't read portions of it, I think you'll feel a little bit lost. There's a pretty thorough explanation of what this course is going to be like, what the expectations are. So make sure that you find that information. So we have kind of a welcome message here. We have an explanation of the info that you can find in all of these tabs. If you've never used Blackboard before, there's a Blackboard orientation that will teach you how to use Blackboard. Some info about distance learning help if you're feel a little uncomfortable learning online. Some guidelines for how to work and interact with people in a classroom environment while online, a bunch of student resources, all kinds of things. Once you have taken a look at this information, I would go ahead and also look at the information under course information over here on the left. And you'll find a very similar layout here. This is really important, how our course site works. You'll find the syllabus and the required textbook. Under faculty info, you'll have some information about me. Here you will have a description of when your assignments are due, some info about how you're going to be graded under grading criteria, instructions for submitting work, lots of useful information. I would some of the tabs under orientation start here. Not all of those you really need to read right away. I would make sure to read everything under course information. And once you've done that, you'll be ready to get started with the actual work for this class, which will be found under our classroom, this tab over here on the left. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And I'm going to close this navigation bar. In the Our Classroom tab, you'll find a bunch of these. You'll find all of our weekly modules. So we're in week 1 right now, which is January 18th through the 24th. You'll see the assignments that you have this week. And if you click on week 1, it will open up all of the instructions and activities and assignments that you'll need to do this week. So we have a welcome message here. Which normally I will read these to you, but because this first video is going to be maybe a little bit longer than some of the future videos, I'll just kind of let you read this on your own. And then when you're ready, you can either click task 1.1 or you can click this arrow to take you to the next page. Task 1.1 is getting comfortable with Blackboard. Basically, this entire class is going to be on Blackboard, so you'll need to make sure that you know how to use it. If you haven't used Blackboard before, there is a self-paced Blackboard orientation if you click this link. It'll teach you how to use Blackboard. For number 2, I have a video here that is a tour of the course site. And here's a couple of reminders of information that you should take a look at before you get too far into the course. I'm going to go ahead and move on to task 1.2. Task 1.2 is learning how to use our required textbook. So you have a video here about how to use the Norton Field Guide to Writing, which I recommend taking a look at. It gives you some helpful tips of where to find information in the book, how to navigate the textbook. You'll see some tips here as well if you click this link. In task 1.3, you're going to do some reading. I would like you to read the section called Academic Literacies, which is chapters 1, 2, and 4 in your textbook, and then Rhetorical Situations, which is chapters 5 through 9. These readings will help prepare you for the writing, reading, and thinking that you're going to do throughout the course. Once you're done with that, I would also like you to read 10 Ways to Think About Writing, Metaphoric Musings for College Writing Students, which you can find if you click this link. A note about the readings from the textbook, you won't ever be like quizzed on those readings. But there are often activities and assignments that are directly linked to those readings. Kind of a tip that I have for you is a good way to know how long the work is going to take. A good way to begin your week is just to, on Monday, maybe Tuesday, look through everything that you're going to have to do for the week. You'll see that I give approximate times for how long each activity will take, get an idea of what you need to do, what the assignments are, maybe write due dates down in a planner or put them in your phone. That was kind of a tangent. The readings, reading this many chapters, it is going to take you a long time. You'll see here that I approximate that it'll take you 3 hours. I know not everyone has 3 hours to spend reading a textbook. So I do recommend at the beginning of the week, take a look at all the activities and assignments you're going to need to do. Figure out which readings are really necessary. And if it doesn't seem like a reading is 100% necessary, then it's kind of up to you. I think for some of you, some of the information here may be things that you've already learned. For other people, especially if you haven't been to school in a while, some of this information will be really helpful. There also aren't really any lectures in this class. So most of the information that you'll be receiving is going to come from these readings. So I say all of that to give you a realistic idea of what the class is going to be like and how much reading you'll have to do. We'll move on to task 1.4. For task 1.4, you're going to make a discussion board post. You're pretty much always going to have a discussion board post due on Wednesday, one on Friday, and then you'll have some writing to submit on Sundays. This post is due by 11:59 on Wednesday. I'd like you to introduce yourself by sharing a numbered list of 25 things about you. You can include silly things, serious things, mundane things, whatever you want to share to help me and your classmates get to know you a little bit better. I'd also like you to include a photo of yourself or a photo of something that represents you. If you want, you can also include a photo of something related to the 25 items that you listed. To make your post, you are going to go to the discussion board, which is, I'm going to open this navigation panel back up. You'll find the link to our discussion board right here on the left. You'll click that. And then you'll see our week 1 discussion. I see that a number of you have already made your first post, which good job. You're getting an early start on things. That's always good to see. So you'll click the week 1 discussion. And then you'll click Create Thread. You'll give your thread a subject, and then you will type your post here in this text box. And then you can't see it because my face is in the way, but down here in the right hand corner, you will see a black button that says submit. When you're ready to submit, just click that and you should be good to go. I'm going to go back to our classroom so we can finish going over the various things we're going to be doing this week. Let's see, we were on task 1.4. Here is a video. If you don't want to write your list, you can also make a video of yourself talking through the 25 things about you. If you'd like to do that rather than writing a list, here's a video about how to embed video or audio files into a discussion board post. Task 1.5, you're going to do a bit of writing. This is not one of the major writing projects for this course. It is, however, an important piece of writing because it will help me learn more about you. I would like this text to be at least 400 words long. You have a couple of options here. Option 1, you're taking a college course this semester, so you've made a decision to pursue higher education. For your first piece of writing, share a story about an experience that helped you realize that higher education would be important in your life. The story could be about something that happened to you specifically, or about something that happened to someone you know. Try to focus on a specific story, memory, event, and try to bring your story to life for your readers by using detail, description, and maybe even some dialogue. And here is a little bit of a sample down here. Your second option, English 1100, is obviously all about writing. So for your first semi-formal writing for this course, share a story about a time when a piece of writing, either something you wrote or something you read, made a meaningful impact on your life. Try to focus on a specific story, memory, event, and try to bring your story to life by using detail, description, and possibly even dialogue. Explain for your reader the qualities and contexts that made the piece of writing meaningful to you. And again, I have some additional info down here to help you out if you need it. And then up top here, oftentimes throughout the course, you'll see these boxes off to the side. These are tips to help you be successful. This tip, check out the Student Success Gallery for week 1 for examples of how other students responded to the prompts below. Also, be sure to save your work for submission at the end of the week. You can type your work and submit a docx file. You can handwrite and submit a photo. Although I will say, if you decide to handwrite it and submit it, please make sure that your handwriting is very, very clear. If you do not have clear handwriting, handwriting, you will need to type it. And in fact, I vastly prefer people typing things as opposed to handwriting them. But if you really benefit from handwriting things, you are allowed to do so. Just make sure that your writing is legible. Over here, you will find a link to the Student Success Gallery, which was mentioned in this tip. The Student Success Gallery has lots of really useful examples of work from past students, which will give you models for what your work should look like. And one quick note, actually no, I'll go ahead and make this note in a second. I'll save it for this next task. Task 1.5, you are going to check in with your classmates on the discussion board. This post is due by 11:59 on Friday. Please do both of the following. Choose an idea or strategy from Reed's essay under task 1.3 that you might like to use in your own writing that's due on Sunday. Paraphrase or quote the idea or strategy from Reed's essay, and then explain why you like that idea or strategy, or why you think it could work well in your own writing. Finally, explain how you might use that particular idea or strategy in the piece of writing you'll turn in on Sunday. To create your post, you're going to follow the instructions I just gave a couple minutes ago about making discussion board posts. And then in step 2, you're going to review your classmates' introductions, and I'd like you to respond to at least 2 of them. What connections do you have with your peers or teacher based on their posts? Do you have any questions for them or other comments? And feel free to comment on your classmates' posts in response to Reed's essay if you would like. And you'll see to create your replies, you have some instructions here. Let's move on to our last page. The last thing you need to do this week is just submit your weekly work. On this last page of the weekly module, you'll always find when the work is due and how many points it is worth. And then you'll see what you need to turn in. This week, you are turning in task 1.5, the writing that you did for task 1.5. Some weeks you'll just be submitting one thing. Other weeks you'll need to submit 2, maybe even 3 different activities. It just kind of depends on the week. We have a video here about how to submit assignments on Blackboard. And you should be good to go. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me. I'll be happy to help you out. That's the best part of my job is helping students, so never hesitate to ask a question. I think that is it. Have a good first week of class.